Welcome to American Reacts. In this video, we're going to be reacting to 5 things you notice about American cars as a Brit. Let's get into it.
A lot of people think that the biggest difference between British cars and American cars is the steering wheel being on the other side. But we're not talking about that today.
The steering wheel's on the wrong side in Britain, as far as I'm concerned. It's a joke, by the way.
That's obvious, is the steering wheel being on the other side. But we're not talking about that today. That's obvious and it's standard. I'm talking about the things that really catch your eye when you live here. Stuff that makes you think, why is this normal in the US and not in the UK? And would it even be allowed back in the
That's just
UK?
normal. I
So,
mean, something like that. This is just normal to me. I mean, jacked up truck, big tires, very loud in the cab when you're driving down the road and something like this. But it's just a standard truck that's got some lift. That's really all this is.
in the US and not in the UK? And would it even be allowed back in the UK? So, here are 5 of the biggest differences about American cars that I've noticed as a Brit living in the US. Let's start with the license plates. In the UK, we've got the regional code in our plates, but unless you understand that system, you don't.
Every tag, age identifier, random letters. Yeah, I don't even know what the numbers in on our plates. I mean, I do know that like states with smaller population only have 6 um uh characters, whereas like larger states or states with larger populations have 7 characters. For example, I live in the largest state in Union, Alaska, but we've got a population of about 750,000 people, so we have 6 characters, whereas like a state like California, where Alaska is much larger than California, but California has a much larger population, so their plates have 6 characters,
don't
or
instantly
7 characters.
regional code in our plates. But unless you understand that system, you don't instantly know where somebody lives.
Random
Here,
letters,
the
okay.
plate literally says the state.
I
So
see.
California,
So it's more like a district or like a county. Or here in Alaska, we don't have counties, we have boroughs. So I suppose that would identify what area you live in. But a lot of other countries are much smaller than United States.
Florida. Here, the plate literally says the state. So California, Florida, Texas, Ohio, and so on. You read it and it immediately tells you where a person registered the car. Because each
And a lot of Americans, they just identify what state the plate's from just by looking at the art on the plate.
read it and it immediately tells you where a person registered the car. And because each state designs their own plates, they all look completely different. Some have logos, slogans, landscapes, special fonts, and colorful designs.
Alaska changes their design a lot. I'm sure some other states do, and I guess yeah, you could see Florida. Like I've never seen this Florida plate before, um, but I swear I've seen like so many different Alaskan art styles on the plates. Whereas like Florida, I've always seen the same plate. It's the white plate with the orange on it. I've never seen this plate before.
In the UK, the plates all look the same. There are regional differences with the numbers and the letters, but they still all look very similar and very uniformed, following a national standard. You can pay for a personalised license plate. All that does in the UK is change the letter and number order so you can maybe spell your name or something like that. It's not going to change the layout or the design. So in the US, plates have a lot more going on visually.
See, one, two, three, four, five, six. And that's only 6 characters, which is surprising because Texas is quite a big population.
And number two, so in the US, plates have a lot more going on visually. And number two is that in many states, you don't have to have a front license plate. This one genuinely surprised me.
This is a new law in our state here in Alaska. Up until like I think maybe last year or 2 years ago, you had to have a front license plate. Now you don't.
To have a front license plate. This one genuinely surprised me because in the UK, you won't typically see cars driving around without a front or a back plate. They will always have both. But in parts of the US, cars only need one plate on the back, and that's just normal. In the UK, a front plate is mandatory. Without it, your car can fail its MOT, you can get fined, and technically, you are driving illegally. But here, some states don't require a front plate at all. There are states that require two plates, about 29 of them, but it's still a big difference you notice. Now, I love this one. Cars covered in stickers. British cars might get the little baby on board sign or a new driver sticker, but American cars, people plaster full life stories on them.
Oh yeah, like this political stances. If you go to a bunch of different parks and recreational places that offer stickers. States also have like stickers that they make. So if you're like driving through the country and you're going to each state, and people will sticker up their car like crazy. I, for one, think it's not very wise to advertise your political stances like that unless you're really gung ho about it. But that's just my opinion. And in general, I don't see the need to put stickers on your car. But then again, I'm not much of like a sticker decorating type of person anyway.
American cars, people plaster full life stories on them. Political stickers, family stickers with like six kids and pets, Christian quotes, sports teams, political opinions, gun
Oh yeah.
rights, life, liberty, whatever. There are so many. Some are funny and some are a bit aggressive. Some you definitely would never see on a UK car. It's like everyone's car is a billboard for their personality. That's something you genuinely notice when you
Honestly, that's
move
one of the
here.
things I would
And
think
it
would be
is it
illegal in
is
the
fun to
UK.
read the stickers on the cars, and you are not used to it because in the UK it's just not something we see on our cars. Now, this is one that physically hits you. The size of the cars. American cars, especially trucks and SUVs, are huge compared to what you're used to in the UK. It's very noticeable. Our cars feel tiny compared to what you see here. But then some people go even further. You see cars that have been lifted
And one reason American cars are a lot bigger is because America grew up with the roads, right? When the country was being developed, it was the same time that cars were being developed, and just our cities were built alongside the development of cars, and the roads therefore are bigger. Whereas, like in Europe, a lot of the cities were, small roads where people were walking and carriages and horses and whatnot. So, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, and I've always thought it was silly that Europeans thought it was so odd, and this is why a lot of our cities are not so walkable, because the country grew up alongside the automobile.
up. Then some people go even further. You see cars that have been lifted up, had modifications made, like adding huge
And typically, a truck like this would be for like, I mean, a lot of people, don't get me wrong, they'll drive this on the road, but typically a truck like this is specifically to go off road and have a good time. That's why this truck's covered in mud.
further. You see cars that have been lifted up, had modifications made, like adding huge tires to make the car really, really high up. It doesn't quite look right on some of the cars, and it's definitely a new thing to see as a Brit because doing that in the UK is highly restricted and sometimes it's even illegal. In the US, it's generally legal, but state regulations sometimes prohibit extreme modifications, but it definitely keeps things more interesting when driving around the US. And finally, this is one of the biggest what the hell moments I had when I first moved here. You'd see cars that look like they've just been in an accident, and it's totally normal. In the UK, if a car looks like it's been in an accident, so deep
In my state, those cars would be called a beater with a heater. See, here in Alaska with 6 month winters, having a heater is pretty crucial. So people kind of prioritize that rather than what the car looks like itself.
normal. In the UK, if a car looks like it's been in an accident, so deep dents, minor cosmetic dents are normally fine, but those deep dents or hanging panels, half
That's
broken
crazy.
bumpers, it wouldn't be allowed to be on the road, not without being fixed. The car would fail its
I mean, honestly, I understand like hanging panels and whatnot, but like a deep dent, let's say this was connected and this dent was still here, and if that's illegal over there, I think that's pretty freaking nuts.
wouldn't be allowed to be on the road, not without being fixed. The car would fail its MOT, plain and simple. The MOT checks whether a car is roadworthy, things like brakes, tires,
Is it
suspension,
mandatory to get your vehicles
lights, the
checked up?
body condition, and safety components. All of it gets inspected. If something important is damaged or unsafe, the car can't legally be on the road until it's fixed. But here, it's surprisingly common to see cars that look like they've been hit, literally just been hit, patched up with tape or mismatched panels, tires looking worn, parts
God
barely
bless
hanging on.
America.
And they're just driving around like nothing's wrong. Now, that was a real eye opener. So, naturally, I started wondering, why is that allowed? And the answer is actually really, really simple. It depends on the state. Unlike the UK, where the MOT system applies across the whole country, the United States doesn't have one national
A country that is much smaller than a majority of our states at that.
system applies across the whole country, the United States doesn't have one national inspection rule. Every state sets its own vehicle inspection laws, and they vary massively. Some states have regular safety inspections, some only check emissions, and some states don't require inspections at all. In fact, a number of states, including places like Florida and Montana, have no routine inspection requirement for normal cars whatsoever. That means when you renew your registration, no one is necessarily checking the physical condition of the car, so long as the vehicle
Yeah, and that's not like that here in Alaska either. And I think that's pretty freaking crazy, honestly. It's like I think the police are gonna pull you over if something is quite off, right? And then you're gonna get fined that way. Um, in my opinion, I think it's a waste to do the inspection every time.
no one is necessarily checking the physical condition of the car. So long as the vehicle is registered, insured, and technically functional, it can still be on the road. So the short version is that in the UK, roadworthiness is checked nationally every year through the MOT. In the US, inspection rules are state by state, and in many places, there isn't a regular mechanical inspection at all, which is why you sometimes see cars driving around that look like they've just come out of a crash. So, those are five of the biggest differences I've noticed between UK and US cars since living in the US. Let me know in the comments if any of these surprised you, and thank you for watching, and thank you to my channel members.
No, I mean that is very interesting. Like I said, I'm very American, and I really support the individual freedoms and the individual responsibility rather than having the government, have these force you to do certain things. Obviously, there's a lot of things that the government needs to oversee, but I feel like a lot of European countries have taken that a little bit way too far. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. If you liked the video, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to help support the channel for free. And if you want to watch this video that we watched here, the link will be for that in the description below. Catch you guys in the next one.